Peace, Spears and Mics. Today we want to talk about the brother Robert Brooks that was sadly his life was taken by New York State correctional inmates and I believe Marcy correctional facility upstate New York. And our brother Just P, our co-host Just P actually does, work with that type of movement. And it seems like he was recently at a rally. P, can you tell us about that rally that you participated in?
Yeah. Well, the type of work I do, I work for a company called Alliances of Families for Justice, and they work with families that have loved one that's incarcerated. That's their basis, and then they have different departments that do outreach, things like that. I work with the youth department. There's a whole different department for prison reform, fighting felony disenfranchisement. So that department, community organizing, they went to the rally for Robert Brooks. So there was one. It was in it was in front of like a government building in the city in Manhattan. I want to say connected to the governor, Kathy Hochul. But
Hmm.
there was different grassroots organizations there besides my own. So it was
Big turnout?
yeah, definitely a big turnout.
Hmm.
Not like a not a super enough turnout to disrupt traffic. I remember seeing them trying like to disrupt traffic. And when that happened, my boss was like, "We're not going to do that because that can turn negative." So we just kind of sat and watched like almost a big rally in the street, but that didn't turn anything. But Robert Brooks was someone that was incarcerated in Marcy Correctional Facility, upstate in the Mid-State Hub. And on December 9th, an incident occurred in docks in Marcy Correctional Facility, and it's the video footage that someone released because it was the body cam footage. What's crazy,
Hmm.
like I'm formerly incarcerated, directly impacted, right? And my orientation, they tell you, yo, the cameras, you lucky the cameras is here, but we can get around that. We'll kill you like that. And that was the orientation facility. When I got to Green, they was already kicking. We kill people here. You know what I'm saying? That's like a thing.
So he was, not to cut you off, P. He was killed by correctional officers, not inmates.
Nah,
So
not inmates. So he must
right,
have.
because L, you said in error, you said inmates at the beginning. So I just want
Oh,
to
word, yeah,
get a
pardon self.
get an understanding that he was
Right.
murdered by
Right, right.
correctional officers and not inmates.
Thank you. That was a
Okay. Yeah,
complete
yeah,
error
yeah. No
on my
problem. No
part 'cause
problem.
in my mind I knew that it was the
Right.
Right,
correction
right, right, right,
officers.
right, right,
Maybe I
right. But
meant
we
an
just want to
inmate.
get that
Yeah,
right. We just
right.
want to get that clear
Appreciate the
for viewership.
yeah, pardon self on
Right,
that.
right.
Appreciate the clarity on that.
Right.
Uh, if you watch it, right, you could see someone kind of leaked it, quote unquote, released it. You can see someone not all the way like someone there, but not really trying to participate in that. And then he was restrained and just beaten to death. Um, and that's sad in a lot of ways. Anybody lose their life, and to lose their life that way is super crazy. In Rikers Island, you hear stories about people upstate that they'll lose you up there. You know what I'm saying? Be careful when you go in there. Um, in the place I was in, there was two officers that were notorious for like murder. They had a whole team, but there was one that was notorious for that. Two of them. The captain Saeed, she was she was what Cardi B was talking about when she was going about how an inmate she knew or something like that got murdered there. And that just happened when I got there. And the captain was under investigation, but she's just visibly seen less. You'll see her. She's not doing any more like run up in the houses and things like that. They had a person named 24/7. That was his name. I don't know what that officer's real name was. His name was just get busy like that, yo. One,
Mm.
one
That's
time,
crazy.
crazy. And mind you, I don't know what that guy's name is, yo. He's just 24/7. He'll run in the crib, and that's it, yo. You know what I'm saying? It's over. They had a guy named Shoemaker, right? And one time, like you have to go, like you have to be like you can't. How do I say this? Like you got to go do programs. You can't really like you can skip like child, but certain things you got to come out that house. That's why it's like it's real hard and dangerous. Like you can't really hide in state prison. So like every couple of feet, there's officers that stop you. And I remember one time there's a young black dude that just started. He was rapping or whatever, tried to be cool. Um, he was like, "Yo, shoemakers out there, you better be careful. He kills people." Just said that when I was going to the barbershop or something like that, yo.
He
And
wasn't even joking.
no, not at all. What's
That's
crazy is
serious.
when the crib one time when the whole house went to chow, they'll stop you every couple of feet, and he happened to be there in a van, and no lie, that man said, "Yo, what house are you guys from?" And my house was notorious. That whole side of Green was known for like trouble, and I was in the worst house on the worst side. So we were like K2. Somebody said K2, and that dude was like, "Oh, okay, I'll be there tonight to kill one of y'all." He sniffed the line off his hand, took a swig of like a Budweiser, sped off, yo. It was gone, son.
So
And I'm like,
so
yeah, yeah, go
so
ahead.
so these CEOs just do this stuff for fun, for kicks, or I mean, obviously they have some mental health issues themselves.
I mean,
Um,
And deep rooted hatred.
Right. Yeah, because I was supposed to
Combine the
be a
two.
CEO.
right, right, right.
I was just talking to my wife about like taking civil service exams years ago, like before I got out of the military, like my last year, I had
Yeah,
took
yeah,
the CO exam, and this is when the COs didn't have a contract. New York State Corrections didn't have a contract. This was like in '04, '05, and I went all the way through and I got up to the psyche valve and I just withdrew from it. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Because I didn't want to be like in char and like, you know, at the time I probably knew a couple of dudes on the island already. You know,
right,
it probably would have been a conflict of interest, but I can't see myself. And then if you don't get down with it, you know what I'm
right,
saying? The other CEOs is looking at you funny, or they might set you up with some inmates or something like that. Like,
right,
I don't got time for that. That's weird behavior, man. That's like weird behavior to do that to somebody who doesn't deserve it, man. It's bad enough people got to be you know, whether you innocent or not. Like
right,
Hmm.
I think you should be just able to do your time. Prison is supposed to be rehabilitation. You know what I'm saying? That's what they say it's supposed to be. Whether you're
right.
getting out or not, it's supposed to rehabilitate you in some way, shape, or form. And when you got like corrupt, you know, hateful, evil people like that, man, that's really unfortunate, man.
The, the
Seriously.
the Rikers Island, the officers in Rikers Island, they're not like them. They'll defend themselves and like their little ESU, like not even little, but the inmates, the inmates run Rikers Island. Like they're not the officers is not catching bodies. Like they'll get assaulted way far, like way more
Right,
often.
right.
You know what I mean? But upstate, it's the officers. When I was in Ulster, where it's just orientation, and they had some lady who's like, "Yo, we'll kill you," just like that. And that was an orientation. I'm going to my home jail. I'm only going to be there 10 days, maybe a month tops. When I got to Green, some super big diesel dude just came in the room for my orientation. He was like, "This is an active gang compound. Two little people just died. Two little kids just died. If you're banging, know your shit." And walked off, yo. And that's it.
Mm.
Like, I
Mm.
don't, you got to know how to,
Study your lessons,
and
P.
that's it, yo. The
Mm.
officers, they could mark your ID where everywhere you got to show the ID, they're gonna mess with you. Like they have a certain way. And when like on Rikers Island, the red dots is serious, but like in state prison, they got vans. They come in droves several times, like groups, ready to. That's it, ready to tear shit up. And then they'll come back, yo. You know what I'm saying? If you don't report, like, say you get cut and you don't report that, they'll beat you up for that, yo. Do you
Mm.
like it's in,
But who are you to put hands on somebody though? I don't get that.
Right.
That's not your job.
And how do you
That's
get
not
away
your
with it?
job. Like,
How do you
right,
get
yo,
away with it
that's not your job,
continually
man.
violating people's human rights? Like,
away because they can put you in the infirmary, they can put you in transit, you know what I'm saying, until you heal up or until, you know what I'm saying, they got enough time to cover themselves after you're dead. You know what I'm saying? They can put you Green shared the infirmary or I think Green and Katsaki both shared the infirmary. So it's like, you know what I mean? They can definitely hide you and then move you. It's kind of hard. Like the thing with my job, like my job is the only grassroots organization that does like certain things that I don't see anybody else. They have lawyers for people that's incarcerated. Like they'll go and take that case on and try to get them. Even with my youth program, we pay the kids. I don't see other programs paying an educational stipend. But the thing is, there's support services for the people, like their families. So if like say you couldn't find or something happened, like any worse conditions to inmates, convicts, that's something that they can jump on. But what if they weren't like existed? Like what if my company didn't exist rather? There would
Hmm.
be what, you would definitely get like super duper lost. And what's crazy is it's not like it's three lawyers, you know what I'm saying? And maybe an intern. They're not like doing a lot of they're not saving groups and groups of people. They'll work like one or two cases. So just imagine how much they don't get to do. There's the Shut Down Attica campaign, the coalition, which is a bunch of different nonprofits trying to shut down Attica, you know what I mean? Meeting with politicians, trying
Because
to
Rikers, I'm sorry to break your thought, but Rikers is in the process of shutting down as
yeah,
well,
yeah.
right? Like
A lot
they're
of
gonna break that down into smaller,
yeah, yeah,
smaller
yeah.
county facilities.
Right, right. A lot of buildings. I think the boat, which is VCBC in the Bronx, the bar, some
Hmm.
people call it,
Yeah.
that's closed, period, yo, which is crazy.
Mm.
And then there's at least three, maybe even four now buildings that are definitely closed the Rikers Island.
You know what's crazy? I remember when I was more active in the streets with the brothers that was getting locked up in Long Island. Brothers was telling me that Riverhead and Nassau was so full, they was sending the brothers to Rikers Island. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Because in Nassau County Jail, if you get locked up in Nassau, you go to Nassau County Jail in East Meadow. You can go to Riverhead, if you're in Suffolk County. And what's the other? There's another one in Riverhead, not Riverhead. What's the other joint too? I forgot.
I want to say Yapik is the other one.
Yaphank, right? So
Yeah,
but them should be so overcrowded that they start putting you in Rikers Island. There's a big prison issue. Valhalla be crowded too. So
yeah,
those are
yeah,
really all, what I'm saying, the county jails that's in the area from Westchester, New York City, Nassau, Suffolk. It's a small, tight area.
yeah.
And then, what I'm saying, like that's like I bet you most of the inmates be from these counties, like, what I'm saying, Brooklyn, Long Island, Bronx, so on and so
Right.
forth. It's crazy.
When I was on the boat, they would just send people to the island because it was full. That it wouldn't even like that'll be like the main reason to just ship like seven people out the crib to Rikers, 10 people. I seen them sweep the whole crib one time, yo. And people, even though like when you get to state prison, everything is Rikers Island. They don't even know what the boat is. The boat is not even on like state prison maps. It's just Rikers Island. So that's like
Yeah,
a building of Rikers Island.
right,
But
right.
I remember people just being scared to go to the island. The island, and during COVID, like since I've been home, 20 people die like a year, but it'd be things like COVID, it'd be other inmates. They say like 40% of the staff just quit. They say the inmates is running around doing court runs, taking the buses over. So the inmates is crazy in there, yo. I
I
would
mean,
never want to go to prison again, but I would not want to go now and be in a holding cell for 5 months in the holding cell, like bookings for like 5 months. That's insane. Groups
you
of
know,
people.
I remember a few years ago I went up with the brother Nicky Sins. We took a drive up top
Yeah,
to see the bro G. He used to be Stone. But when he went up top, the Stones, the Hats, UBN, everybody be at war. So, a lot of homies go once they get up top, they don't even want to be gang no more because it's just so disorganized and so chaotic. Like it ain't brotherly love up there, so brothers be wanting up leaving. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Brothers turn Muslim, they get into their culture. So the brother became Black Lion, which is like the Jamaicans and all the Rasta brothers, together. And peace to the brother G. I seen a lot of growth in him since he allegedly had caught that body. And I just remember looking at all the COs and I didn't see not one CO of color. First off, these towns is like prison is everything in these towns.
yeah,
It's like the
yeah,
only job to
Big
have.
business. Big
yeah.
Big business,
business.
exactly.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
it
Yep.
is the only source of income where anybody in the town, everyone has to work there. Like otherwise, there's no jobs, and these areas are so desolate. Like there's literally nothing around. Like you'll see a gas station, like what a Quick Mart or whatever. Like what I'm
Hmm.
saying, but it'd be like nothing. You know what I'm
Nothing.
saying? And you go and you see the inmates. Most of them is black or brown. And all the inmates is like dudes that never been around black or Latino people. You know what I'm saying? So it's weird, man. They're giving the visitors, we're visitors, and they're giving us the screw face. You know what I'm saying? Like It's crazy. I would never want to be locked up. That's not for me, you know?
And the
Yeah.
worst thing about it is
Uh,
like for visitors, it's making them feel like they're in there with the inmates, with the family
Right,
members and
right,
friends
right.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah,
terrible.
I've been on
yeah.
both sides, so I understand.
You know what's crazy? I was in when I was in Green. There was a dude that he hated when his family came to see him. He was in there for like something sexual with like a minor. You know what I'm saying? And he's from a small
Wow.
town, and then
Wow.
so he would like. Turns out that that young girl was related to one of the officers. So
Whoa.
he would catch it every like you can't really catch him in Chow. Like I seen him go to Chow, but things like when he go on that visit, he's coming back hurt. When he
Well,
go
you
to
can't even feel bad for that. Like that's
yeah, but
yeah,
like
that
gotta be careful, man. Like I've seen a person that like I knew a dude. He was from some part of New York where there was more people on the compound than his entire town. What is that, yo? And they have something where the closer you are, like they'll send everybody from the city all the way up top, and then they'll send people from there closer down to like Sing Sing Green. So I was just locked up with all a bunch of upstate country people, yo. Like their accents, the way they're talking, the things like they're smoking bath sauce, like they were crazy. I didn't even know it was crazy like that in certain towns in New York, yo.
wicked.
Yeah, man. That's a crazy thing, yo.
I'm
I'm I'm
I'm glad.
I was just about to say that too. I'm glad you home. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Like, I'm glad you home. I'm glad you know you actually also doing something now with. I think that job is perfect, and it's perfect motivation to keep you
Right.
in the right direction, focused too. So
Word. And you
just
helping the youth too.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a fact. You got a direct impact on youth. You know what I'm saying? So. That's a dope
Um,
job, man. Salute to all your
or
coworkers and all the staff, man. That's
One of my
official.
coworkers is one of them Panthers that did
Yeah,
years.
yeah, yeah. No, I know,
yeah,
I know.
I remember you told us.
Yeah, we
Yo,
spoke on it.
You know what I mean?
since we're on the subject of Robert Brooks, we failed to mention a few days ago, or maybe a little over a week ago, a Wu-Tang affiliate, Anthony Creston Brown, who was known as Holocaust, aka War Cloud, Alcatraz, whatever you want to call him, was actually killed. Well, we're gonna say allegedly. He died in police custody while he was in a correctional facility out there in California. And we say
Mm,
allegedly
Oh,
because
damn.
the investigation is ongoing. He was in his late 40s, I believe. Incredible MC. He had suffered from some mental health issues, they're saying,
Right.
over the past few years. P and I actually was on an album of his, Theater of Pain with the American Poets 2099. What year that came out, P? Like 2008, something like that? 2009?
2009, maybe. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
2009,
Yeah,
2009.
2009.
And
You
then
you did more work. You did more songs with him, right? I only did that one song, but
his album Armor of God, right? And
okay.
it's like Vicious Spitters, I think the song is. It's got Don Pacino,
Okay.
me on there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The thing
Yeah,
with
but
him, right? From talking to a lot of people that he knew, it looks like he might have OD'd and they're just waiting to announce that. Because I don't think he was like assaulted or killed. They would have instantly been
right,
like, police
right,
killed him, you
right.
know? So it
But
looks
they
like,
just like when you say police custody, when the reports come out that he
yeah,
died in police, but because they said he was arrested for theft
mm-hmm,
and drug possession.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And like, I know his mental health because like when I saw him on Christbearer, had like he resurfaced with Christbearer recently, and like he was like kind of like incoherent a little bit in his speech, and you could see something was a little off, man. And I was kind of saddened by that because like he was dope. He had an incredible mind. Like he was like they called him like a rap Shakespeare. Like he was kind of like Edgar Allan Poe in hip hop a little bit because of his subject matter, and like his the way he used to rhyme was like a stream of consciousness. It wasn't really like he had different flows and different, like his subject matter was really it was vast and it was different from everybody else, kinda. You know what I'm saying?
very
So
unique
yeah, yeah,
lyricist.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Very unique.
Dude was incredible, man. So it's a shame. You know what I'm saying? It's really a
Indeed.
shame.
He had came home then. That video was made. He had just like came out some institution or something like that.
Right, right. It's funny because, well, not funny, but um, when we were actually recording our respective songs at Clef's crib when we was doing the album, I remember he showed us that Bust Your Guns video with him and the North Star,
Yeah,
and the video didn't actually drop till years later. But I
yeah,
remember seeing him, and I'm just like, yo, why, son? Like his movements was like
yeah, it's crazy.
was different. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, this not the same dude from the Silkworm video,
He
you
was
know,
crazy.
with RZA, Ghostface, you
Right.
know,
He was
as
crazy.
well. But yeah. I was telling L earlier that well, a couple days ago we was talking about it, and I was like, yo, he had a fight with Ninth Prince. Like during the filming
Mm.
of during the recording of Dirty Weaponry, they had a well-known
Yeah, yeah.
brawl in the studio, and I think they sent him back to LA or something like that.
No, he was on Bobby Digital, right?
He
He
Nobody
was
was
did.
on
on
Bobby Digital. That's the first
right.
time we heard him. He was on the Swarm
The
first.
Swarm first,
He was on two songs on the Swarm. Then he was on Bobby Digital, and then he was on Dirty Weaponry twice.
because Dirty Weaponry came after Bobby Digital, right?
Right.
Probably.
Yeah,
It's all a blur to
And,
me. I don't remember no more.
and he was known to burn down your house if you didn't do what he said. They say I'm not going to say who, but they say he had people under pressure to do whatever weird rap shit he requests.
I
Was burn
believe
down
it.
your
I
house.
believe it.
I've heard this two different
Yo,
attempts. If y'all
but,
don't
but
do what that man say,
when you
we're
listen to him, that's what I'm saying. Like when you listen to his rhymes, it's just like
crazy.
it's just like, yo, dude is morbid. Dude is like, his mind is like somewhere else, man. But like, yo, condolences to his family, though. I saw they got a GoFundMe for him. I think his sister put it up recently, you know, and they working through, I guess the legal stuff, you
What's
know,
crazy is
investigation pending.
like there's so much. Like shout out to all the room, you know what I mean, and all the affiliates. They like with the other one's a whole nother episode. Like he wilded
Christ
out.
Bearer? You talking about Christ Bearer?
Yeah, Christ is up. They say the OG Abbott was there when he did that, and
Yeah, I heard about that. I
he
heard about that.
disappeared.
Yeah, and then went to a show or something like that, or a perform something.
And they say a lot of times that all the times we be wondering what's wrong with that dude, it be rehab. And I was like, it
Hmm.
makes sense because GS been
Yeah.
saying it be drugs for years. Just anytime you wonder what old school, what their problem is, drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy,
I
man.
don't
It's
know.
crazy.
I don't
It's
know.
crazy. Yeah, that situation with Christ Bearer was kind of it was weird. It was weird, but when you're experimenting with your body and your mind and all of that, man, it could, you know, put you in that predicament, I guess.
And California is more of like a police state than New York is. It's just like that's why like someone like Holocaust, they say, you know what I mean, always been institutionalized. You know what I'm saying? Like how did
Yeah.
that video was like 3 weeks before this happened. Like it was like within the same month.
Right. He didn't even look the same. He
You know?
looked old. He looked really old.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, all our hairlines is bad, but he was looking crazy. Like his hairline was like, you know what I'm saying? Not to
Hmm.
make fun. I'm just like, you
Not
know, as you
right.
get older, sometimes depending on, you know, your genetics, you know, your hairline could be a little
we
jacked up or whatever. But
we getting old though, you know.
yeah,
We getting old.
he wasn't looking
He's
healthy.
what? He got to be older than us, right? Like,
Yeah, like a couple years, yeah, like late
right.
40s, close to 50.
Hmm.
Might be like 47, 48, something like that.
Yeah,
Something like that.
for the listeners that's not familiar, go, check out War Cloud, aka Holocaust. Got a lot of material out there. Maybe you want to start
Yeah.
with the Swarm Volume 1 and listen to
Yeah.
that. Maybe you want to throw on Bobby Digital from RZA, listen to
Yeah.
him on that. Check out his solo project or maybe his work with North Star, all Wu-Tang
Mm.
affiliated groups. You know, he was a unique talent. He definitely stood out, man. And I'm sure people listening that's true fans of hip hop already know what time it is with him. But you know, we wanted to give him a little bit of honor. We meant to do it on the previous few episodes, but you know, our condolences to his family, our condolences to his partners, his affiliates, the Wu-Tang
Mark,
Clan, all the Killer Bees. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Mark Pro, the
The Wu.
leader, all of them dudes.
Yeah,
You
man.
know, it's
Mm.
sad and you know, rest in peace to all the brothers that's lost their lives behind the hands of correction officers, by the hands of police. You know, we just gotta stay away from these police, man, whether it's inside or outside, man, they're not for us. You know what I mean? So
Also, it really like it didn't matter that he was famous or if you're famous or if you're quote
No, I
unquote
don't.
from the situation because
No.
might be worse.
yeah, all that institutionalization obviously played a role in how he acted later on, his mental health. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yo,
Yeah.
even I was telling L when we were discussing War Cloud, you could like once I heard he had mental health issues like years before this,
Hmm.
I could tell by his music. I can tell by the music because like he had like different styles he would go into, like where he would have these different monikers. Like when he was Robot Tank, he would rhyme a certain way. When he was War Cloud, he would rhyme a certain way. Holocaust, Alcatraz, whatever the AKA was, he
That's
would
dope
rhyme
though.
different.
That's
Right.
dope though.
That's
But it is. But
mad.
when like it's certain things, like when we did the song with him, when we did like I did one song, P did another song. The song I'm on, when you hear him, he's not even flowing. It's just, it sounds like he's just like going like blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, what is he talking about? Like, it's not even
Hmm.
connecting. The song has nothing to do with what he's talking about. Like,
Hmm.
it's wild. Like I said, it's a stream of consciousness, and he's just going.
I
Like,
Hmm.
can't
he, like,
like. How do I say this? Yo, my bad, my bad. Like, if like that's why like I guess hindsight 2020 and in retrospect, but like if I needed to sit down, or if you see you, I need to sit down, sit me down, especially if you're gonna get me in the booth and I'm just, you know what I mean? And then now, like, no lie, and salute and respect, but like those verses came, like the song, like his team had problems with like all like me and you being on the album. Anybody that came from Clef, when we're like,
right,
yo, we did magic with that shit. Y'all niggas is motherfucking. Y'all got him mumbling under the. You know what I'm saying?
right,
So,
right.
so it's like not
Y'all
even.
And
salvaged the song.
And
Yeah,
we didn't get paid. And we didn't get paid. And we didn't get
you know
paid.
what I'm
And I didn't
saying?
even care. I didn't even care. I just
Yeah, exactly. But like, it's just cool. You know what I'm saying? To have that. You know what I mean? But it's like
right.
looking back now, if you seen like that man was tired and he coming out mumble, like if he doing that, let that man go to sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let
On that album, he had a Nas diss. Like it came out
what?
of nowhere. It had nothing to do with Nas either. Like it's like if you go back and listen to it, you're just like, what? Like
Nas ain't even
Nas
like
diss.
that, B. What like you know
Mm.
what I'm saying? Like
But
I
we're
don't
gonna get to the Nas diss too, because somebody dropped the Nas diss
know.
recently, and it was
Your man was burning down houses if you didn't do what he said with the rap. So I don't know. I'm
that's
just saying,
crazy.
like that's crazy
That's
because
crazy. That's
like
crazy.
is it his fault that like is it other people's fault that you're not
No,
responsible?
because if you cared about them, if
That's
you really
true.
cared about them, instead of making
That's,
monetary gain, or like clout or whatever, because it's like, yo, even I was hyped, like, yo, we
yeah,
on Holocaust joint. But
word.
then it's like, it's not it's Holocaust, but it's not. Because he's not in the right state of mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, he needs some type of help. Because I remember asking Clef, like,
Ooh,
yo,
I
like,
think there's 3 songs.
that's crazy. I'm like, yo, what's up with son? I'm like, yo, why does he sound like that?
I think I might listen to his verses once or twice, and I was just like,
I
whoa.
don't even. I think they sabotaged my verse on the song. I sound like they punched me in. I
Oh, they
sound
Mm.
off
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, but they
because when you don't do it in studio with the person, like you gotta piece the song together.
find out. But things like that. Either way, like I wouldn't just be like someone like I
Yeah,
hope just be some type
Yeah,
of
if
art.
I hear you rambling on
Yeah,
songs, I'm gonna call
fuck,
you like, yo, you don't need to be rapping right now.
you know what I'm saying? Like if you're like if I'm fucked up and you're like, yo, Pete, get back in the booth, maybe that'll help you. Cool, that's true. But then if I come out with some crazy shit and then you know I'm like fucked up in the head, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I just wish like I would say that because maybe they did really try all they could. You know what I mean?
Who
But
knows?
yeah, it's sad. You know what I'm saying? It's really
He
sad.
just dropped something
Yeah, he definitely
with
did.
some Japanese, it's actually not bad.
Yeah, no,
Hmm.
it's not. I did like
It's
that.
actually not bad. You know what I'm saying?
See,
Man, R.I.P. to the brother, man, Holocaust,
definitely.
aka War Cloud, man, Wu-Tang Killer Bees.
Oh no,
Thank you for tuning in to Spears and Mics. On next episode, we're gonna talk about Smith and Wesson. So stay tuned for that. Uh 30th anniversary of the Shining. Peace.
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 Yo, why y'all not going to the show?
I wanna go.